I mean, I think it's, I really haven't seen any negative side effects from GHK, CU, copper, and any skincare. It's very well tolerated. And that's the thing about peptides. They're in general well tolerated. I haven't seen any allergic reactions. I haven't seen, and this is just peptides in general. In general, they're pretty well tolerated for almost everybody. So I wouldn't know why I would not recommend it. There's really not a reason why you would not recommend GHK-Cu.
Okay, so you're
unless
not
somebody has.
you're not saying a whole lot with respect to side effects, injection site reactions, things like that.
There is injection site reaction. If you do inject it, it does sting, but it goes away.
Got it. So
the initial, yeah.
And
yeah, the initial.
I want to ask you really concretely too. When people inject this, what does it look like? What is actually being injected? Is it what is the solvent that the peptide is actually dissolved in? Is it water? Is it something else?
Bacteriostatic water. You usually mix it with bacteriostatic water, and the peptide itself is usually blue.
Got it. Yeah, it does have this quite interesting, vibrant blue color. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, bacteriostatic water, you're basically just sterile water.
Yeah, bacteriostatic I think is a little bit different than sterile water, but yeah, yes.
So injection site reactions tend to be mild, and they tend to be transient.
Yes. But specifically out of all the injectable peptides, I think copper is the one that stings a little bit the most.
Got it. So that's relatively common, a little bit of a sting.
Yes. And then overall it's well tolerated, and no, I haven't seen any systemic, but again, I haven't done any studies on it. This is just what I've observed short term.
Yeah. And give us a sense for, how many people out there, are you noticing a lot more people using GHK-Copper and peptides in general for skincare, or is this a pretty niche thing that not that many people are doing? What is your sense of that as a clinical person?
People are using it more and more and more every single day, especially in combination with other peptides. There's a lot of different sort of combos that people are approaching me about, like Glow and Clo. Let me see Glow. See, I don't even know all the combos because it's just, sometimes I feel like it's...
Yeah, there's just so many combinations of peptides and new ones all the time.
Yeah, like the GHK, BPC, TB500 combo, and then the Clo, which somebody told me about, which is the BPC, TB500, GHK, and KPV. So yes, there's a lot of different... People are on it more and more every single day for sure.
And how common is it for people to use this for and see benefit for hair growth purposes? Are people literally using this to help their hair grow back in after they've started to go bald, or how are people using it in that regard?
They're not using it as much as they should be. They should definitely be using it more, I think. Studies show that it can be just as effective, if not more, than Minoxidil. And Minoxidil has probably more side effects than GHK-Cu.
What is Minoxidil?
Minoxidil is the medication that's used for hair. You can take it orally, or you could also do it topically. And also it can treat blood pressure as well. It's an oral FDA-approved medication, but also it's topical, and they also have it in a foam option as well. But actually, I think it's also known as Rogaine. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Oh yeah, okay, that's Rogaine. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Minoxidil, I guess it can cause low blood pressure if you take it orally. Both men and women can use it, but I think copper has less side effects, negative side effects.